You've probably seen all of the construction and development that's happening throughout our area. There are definitely some growing pains, but there are also solutions as well. And so we're exploring those solutions in our Boomtown coverage this week.
And this morning we are getting a first look inside the brand new building, the Podium. It's Spokane's newest sports facility. Construction of the $53 million building is now complete. And this morning Nicole Hernandez is inside the Podium.
Good morning, guys. World class is just the perfect descriptor for this brand new spot. The Podium is going to be hosting its first event on December 11th, and that's why I've got Eric Sawyer here, because he knows all about events going on here. So first up, tell me, what kind of events are we bringing here specifically because we have the Podium now?
Well, a lot of unique events, and it really starts with kind of a one-of-a-kind on the West Coast indoor hydraulic track. That's really set the stage for what we are able to do in this building. It's kind of the iconic piece of the design. But once we get out of the indoor track season, which is usually March, then this really does become very much a multi-purpose indoor facility. And we can do just about anything you can think of that would occur inside of a building with the traditional sports of volleyball, basketball, which we'll be doing. Two very large events we'll be moving into here, the Pacific Northwest Volleyball Qualifier and the middle school basketball championships. But then outside of that, you've got a lot of unique possibilities. We're going to host the karate national championships here. We'll have a large indoor USA wrestling tournament in here. We're looking at everything from cheerleading events to badminton, table tennis, you name it, we want to do it in this building because that's really what it was designed to do, is to be a very flexible, multi-purpose venue.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, naming off all those sports is going to bring bodies here to Spokane,
right.
People spectating, the people actually competing in the sports. We saw research that showed 25,000 people annually every single year just because of the Podium. So what does this mean for Spokane?
Well, you really, we want to do is bring a lot of people to town, and because they spend money. And when they spend money, they generate a tax base. It saves all of us locally from having to pay for services if visitors are doing it on our behalf. So we're trying to attract visitors here, and this facility will probably generate somewhere in the neighborhood of about $35 million annually in tourism spending. And then if you kind of boil that down, it comes out to somewhere close to $2 million in a tax base that we're going to be able to generate here just out of this building. So it's all about economic development. When you get down to it, that's why you want these facilities. We're a state that relies heavily on sales tax, and we want more people spending money who don't live here but are going to help pay for our services.
Absolutely. Well, and it all starts on December 11th, like I mentioned. That's when the first event is happening. But for now, I'll send things back to you guys.
It's quite awesome.
It's
Looks
amazing.
Really great. The Podium will be used for a wide variety of events over the years for our region.
Now, currently, like Nicole was just mentioned, there are 2 national championships that are already booked for 2022, the USA Indoor Track and Field Championships, as well as the Karate National Championship.
And now that the foundation is set, the next move is to entice tournament organizers to come to Spokane. Experts say it is competitive, and right now they say a few things work in our advantage. They say Spokane is already a sports hub with a history of bidding and winning tournaments.
They also say the Podium offers new quality facilities, and that's key to winning new events compared to similar markets. And even Tri-Cities and Yakima are excelling in bringing in new revenue after investing in their own facilities. So the Spokane Sports Commission is reporting that the Podium could generate an additional $33 million a year in direct tourism.
So this also contributes to about $1.7 million in state tax revenue. The CEO of Spokane Public Facilities District breaks it down even further, saying that each of the thousands of tourists who would come to the Podium spends an average of $150 to $300 in Spokane per day.
Most people don't completely understand the economic impact. People come into your community for an event, they stay in the hotel, they shop, they go to the restaurants, they shop, they rent a car, they spend money, and then they leave, right? So they're not a drain on your roads and your schools and all the infrastructure. So that's huge for a community.
The Podium will also allow for more new jobs once the doors officially open. Now, that's not all of our Boomtown coverage for today. Our series will continue with more on the Podium today on the KREM 2 News at Noon.